Look, there is craziness and then there is craziness. And if my mom did this on a cruise, I would be mega concerned. Why, mommy? Why? Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. I am your host, Tony, and I got to tell you about a crazy story that's making its way around the internet. And even financial guru icon Dave Ramsey has weighed in on it. It was actually a TikTok that I saw of Dave Ramsey that kind of turned me on to this story. And then some of you guys out there started sending me the story. Let me just play a little bit of the clip for you to set it up.
After Dad died, went on a series of cruises. And as you may or may not know, on cruise ships, they have art auctions where basically you're buying overpriced art after you've had a few drinks and everything. And my mother, on a series of 6 cruises, spent $1.1 million on cruise ship art.
That's wild. Disturbing.
So there you go. You've got a son calling into the Dave Ramsey show. His mother, who is now a widow, his father had passed away, went on 6 cruises and bought $1.1 million of cruise ship art. Now, I do have a couple concerns. One that's, kind of a general concern, and 2 is a real selfish concern. But man, just let's think about that for a minute. $1.1 million across 6 cruises. The guy explains that him and his brother, they didn't realize his mom was spending that much money. Dave digs deeper. Does your mom still have money? Yes, she has money to live comfortably, but not super comfortably. She certainly doesn't have another $1.1 million to throw toward cruise art. Seems like a scenario where they didn't become aware of the situation till it was too late. I watched the full Dave Ramsey clip. He goes on to ask, does your mom have her full mental capacities, or did she just make a dumb mistake? And it sounds like she just made a dumb mistake. Like I said, it raises 2 big concerns for me. Number one is, did the lady get taken advantage of? This is an interesting question. If the lady was of full sound mind, if she had her full mental capacities and she had the money that she could pull the trigger and buy whatever she wants, did she get taken advantage of? Now, certainly in some of these situations on cruise ships, the sales tactic can feel a little high pressure. I've never bought cruise ship art, but I have heard from other people that bought art that certainly say that you can get caught up in the moment, especially like if you go to an art auction or as you're closing the deal, you have conversations about shipping and framing and all this kind of stuff. So it does seem like a scenario where you could be caught in a moment where you're making decisions that maybe aren't the most clear decisions because you're in that moment of purchasing something exciting like a piece of art. That's my first concern. Did the lady get taken advantage of, and how would that even be determined? And number 2, and this is more on the selfish tip and something that I've thought about more and more as I get older, is this lady blowing her kids' inheritance? How would I feel if my mommy had $1.1 million and she flushed it down the proverbial drain by buying some art? I have seen cruising t-shirts out there that people say, blowing my kids' inheritance 1 cruise at a time. Which, while it's funny, it's definitely an interesting thought process as we get old. There's some people that are all about legacy, and I want to make sure that there's generational wealth so that I can set my kids up and their kids can be set up. And then there's another school of thought that says, to heck with them kids. I worked hard, I made this money, and I'm going to spend all my money before I go to the grave. Could you imagine that, your mother does pass away and, now in the will, she's left you $1.1 million of cruise ship art, which is not worth $1.1 million. Look, I've collected stuff for years. Baseball cards, comic books, compact disc, tapes, VHS, DVD, pop vinyls, coffee mugs, Lego. And what I know for sure is that you have to be very careful to make sure that whatever you're collecting appreciates in value and does not depreciate in value. I think I just heard all the Beanie Baby collectors out there going, that's right. That's right, stupid Princess Diana Beanie Baby. One of the hardest lessons I ever learned is when I moved from North Carolina to Florida. I had about 3,000 comic books that were essentially worth $0. I took thousands of comics to my local comic book shop. They spent, an hour flipping through thousands of comic books, and they looked me right in the face and they go, did you sell all of your good comic books? And I'm like, yes, I did. Yes, I did. I made sure that I got the value for the comic books that had value. And they said, well, then this isn't going to be a surprise that we'll give you about $50 for these 3,000 comics. $50. Imagine that. Imagine you paid $1 for each of those comics. I just got $50 for what I probably spent $3,000 on. And certainly, if I found myself sitting in a lawyer's office finding out that I'd been bequeathed $1.1 million of cruise ship art, the rude awakening is going to be there. Even the guy on the Dave Ramsey clip said that they were only getting about 10 cents on the dollar. 10 cents on the dollar as they started to sell off some of this cruise ship art. What did Ludacris say? Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. Shout out Ludacris. Yeah, it's a wild world out there, and there's all kinds of ways for us to spend our money. And I guess there's all kinds of ways to spend our kids' inheritance. What would you do in this circumstance? Would you push into the cruise line and say, I think you took advantage of my mom? Or, I kind of think the lady, if she can spend her money any way that she wants. This thing's making me think so many things. I'm kind of hands off in many of the relationships just because I kind of always wanted to be left alone in my life. So I'm very hesitant to interject myself into the decision-making of my parents or the decision-making even of my kids. I am always there to guide and counsel. Anybody can come to me for help, and I think they know that, right? I've made it very apparent that I'm going to, do my best to keep you in the rails if you have, challenges in life, but I'm not super prescriptive. I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do. But in a circumstance like this, you just wonder, with the loss of that much money, do you think the kids should have been more active? These adult children, do you think they should have been actively asking their mom, hey, what are you doing with your money? How much money are you spending on these cruises? And I guess out of my own curiosity, I'm really curious as to how thought forward you guys are when it comes to your children's inheritance. I'm certainly not out there trying to spend every bit of money that I have without any thought that any would be left over in the end. But at the same time, I don't think I'm actively pursuing, okay, at the end of my days, I want everybody to have X. And I know there's people that are out there like that think in the context of, okay, if I make these financial decisions, then my kids aren't going to have this after I'm gone. I don't know. It's such an interesting thing, and I love the fact that it's all kind of caged in this conversation around art. Honestly, I'm shocked that there's not a lawsuit out there. As litigious as this world is, I'm surprised there's not a lawsuit. But again, I feel like, if a judge looked at this, wouldn't they just say, look, if your mom's of sound mind, she can spend her money any way that she wants. In the call, it does seem like the son is more just concerned for the mom. It didn't seem like he was concerned for the inheritance. But look, I've known people that they didn't give a crap about their parent. They just wanted the money. I have such a sour memory of a family member that was just so concerned about an inheritance and not really concerned about the person passing away. It haunts me. I think there might be a good way to close the show out. Are you guys feeling it? Are you going to do it with me? Yeah, there's really nothing left to do but dance. Get up. Get up.
If you don't care about a man, raise your hand. If you a baddie and you know it, raise your hand. Hundreds and fifties make you do the money dance. Money dance, do the money dance. If you don't care about a man, raise your hand. If you a baddie and you know it, raise your hand. Hundreds and fifties make you do the money dance. Money dance, do the money dance. Do it left foot, get into it. Do it right foot, keep it going. Keep it going, keep it going. Keep it going, don't stop, keep it going. I made it rain in the club, 100 bands. NFC barcode is Montclair. When you fresh from head to toe, they y'all stare. They y'all stare, baby, y'all stare. How you mad that I'm the one and you ain't?